Always make plans with you, and I won't let them fall through. I think I lie for you. I think I die for you. Jealousy cry for you. Do things when you want me to. Like control, yeah, like control. Don't work like that when you love somebody. My own flex is my new flex now, and we're working on it. That's why I need all the energy that you bring to me. My last girl would tear me apart, but she never wanna split a thing with me. But when it comes to you, we always want to bring new ideas and nice development to the Huntsville area. So, of course, I partner with Scout Industries, and we're adding luxury homes to Scott Realty. If you're in the market of looking for a nice home right here in Huntsville, Alabama, give us a call. Not only that, if you have the land and you was like, I want to build my dream home on this land, but I don't want something that I see already. Give us a call, y'all. We got luxury homes, and they're modern homes. They're different, they're fresh, and they're new. And it's something Huntsville has never seen before. We always want to bring new ideas and nice development to the Huntsville area.
Okay, you guys. We do know that he asked Tisha to be kicked out or to give him. He's trying to muscle Scott. This has been very deceptive, trying to pretend like he built this multi-family construction. Y'all see the layout, the pool, all of that, you guys. Now, let me just break it on out. That's Zen Garden. Now, this other one, this is the $7.6 million development that he claimed that he was trying to build, you guys. As you can see, there's nothing moving. Nothing moving. I went out there over and over and over. I was so happy for myself. I saw a scope sign out there in the middle of the land. I went out there between 8 and 5. That's when they said they're open. No movement. Nothing. All you saw was this. This is all he could show y'all because he didn't do anything, you guys. Then maybe about 2 or 3 months later, I went out there. The project was finished. I don't know what this is right here. What a great group of guys working hard on the homes in Dalton and girl, I do not know. I'm trying to find out, y'all. This is no disrespect to y'all. Okay, now this is Zen Garden. We all know what went down with Zen Garden because it played out in court. That's another thing. And in court, he had to say that he has never built anything, you guys. So this altered reality that they got, it puts me in a mind because, see, what the problem is, I'm riding up and down the road. I live there. I know who builds what and who done built what and what company building and what company ain't building. And it's not you scopes. Anyway, this world today will turn into tomorrow. Same world, different time, different people. Yeah. I don't know what's the meaning of this. But anyway, y'all, this is her on her campaign going somewhere, her Scopes campaign. Now, y'all, where is this located at? Tisha, where is this located at now? All right, y'all. I'm trying to capture what I had it on my phone, you guys. And this was a while ago when I was excited about the Scopes. I did see Scopes sign out there. Building. Oh man, was I so happy. Only to find out that they weren't the one building the hotel, you guys. That sign was out there. But I did see a contract where it says that they were supposed to be granted $7.6 million as a startup, right? So then I looked at the other contractors. They all got started at the same time Marceau did, but within a year, 6 months to a year's time, they were through building. And we talking about building stuff like Sam's Club, BJ grocery stores, restaurants. Everybody was completed except for Marceau. So now I stay here, you guys. So I'm running around. I'm looking at when are they going to get finished? I'm rooting for Martell. Now the rest of these, it wasn't a lot of black contractors, right? So I'm rooting for my soul now. When are they going to get finished? Every time I went by there was no construction going on. He couldn't deliver. He could not deliver. And once that scope sign went down and they kicked that sign off the property, that building went up. So I was trying to find out whether or not, let's see if you guys can see it. Now in this board meeting, we got to go way back, y'all. 40 acres in the mule and this $1 million that's at stake, y'all. Now, Melody, he's going to get mad at Melody because he wants to be this big man. At the time, I don't know what was going on, but he could not pull that permit. So they did not know this. So Melody came in and says, well, I already pulled the permit because you was unable to pull that permit myself. Now, the reason I bring this permit up is because already that $7.6 million permit had been approved for him to do that hotel. Allegedly, what I showed y'all, though, that's what I'm looking at. So, those things was colliding, Melody finding all these things out. We're going in business with these people. Every time there's a roadblock, every time that business deal coming from their part, their hands are not clean, allegedly. And then he realizes that they at that table, the men's at that table, except for X, realize that they need Melody because she's the one with the businesses. And that's what Marceau don't see in Tisha. That's what he was telling her out there at that resort in Garnersville. Okay, here we go. Some stuff, child. So, yeah, and they had their own people. Now, see, they had their own people line up that they want them to use. Probably with their brother. Yeah, but Tisha version, you're not listening to me, Mel, you're not listening to me. And then he chiming in, oh Lord, child, I can remember everything he said. But this picture right here, look at this picture right here, y'all. I'm going over it. He telling her to shut the hell up. Oh, she telling her to shut the hell up. Tisha, shut up, Tisha. See, Tisha don't have no voice like Melody, but she trying to have a voice at that table. He's him and Maurice trying to be the voice of reasoning. I know, but I get to talking to Melody, and when I get to talking to Melody and Montel, I can hustle them. I can manipulate them into doing what I want to do because I need this money. Money. Y'all gonna come out this money. They ready for that check to be signed and to be split. And Tisha over there yelling, throwing shade at Melody, telling Melody, every time you come here, everything don't work out right. It don't nothing work out right when you come into the picture. He tell her to shut up because that's not the way he know they need Melody. So Melody told this man, y'all sitting up there. It's okay, y'all. Let me get back to these two now. This what made him mad. These two men tell you what made him mad. Melody said, "Oh, I pulled a contract permit already because you're not able to pull no permit. He's not able to, and that tore him up, y'all. That tore him up on national TV too. He not able to, because at that time, I don't believe, because I've been researching on people, I don't believe neither one of them had an active license, you guys, if my memory serves me right. Active license on nothing. I just got to bring it up to date now. They do have active license right now, okay, y'all? I'm talking about Marceau and Tisha. But anyway, he upset because Melody told him that he was not able to pull permits. And he wasn't. So she did it. So the fact that she did it, it makes her mad that she fronted him off. And it makes Keisha mad because she fronted her man off. Yes, he can, my man. My man got his license. My man, this is my man that. Melody says, Melody will tell them, look, y'all, I'm just here to deal with the facts. I'm here to deal with the facts. The rest of this stuff don't matter. You had all four of them, with all four of those stocks yelling at both of them, right? And Martell told them, y'all just not finna ride our coattail. If we got to do this, we're going to do it by ourselves. Yeah. If I got to go on this loan by myself, get a multi-million-dollar loan, money like that, I'm going to be by myself. I don't need y'all. So they didn't expect that. Yeah. So, but anyway, ain't that what Chris said? Ain't that's what they tried to do to Chris? Said that they're in business with Chris and ride off of his success. But a monkey rich was still in it. Chris's license was evoked again. That made Marceau mad. His plans has been hijacked. Made Marceau mad. You didn't come to me and tell me that your license was revoked. And y'all know that made Chris mad. Ooh, these people on Love and Marriage Huntsville. You watching, you gonna try to stick with your marriage because you're watching how that divorce is affecting your friends, marriage with the children, divorce with the children. And so I'm looking at this now. Why would he take this camera to deflect to Chris Fletcher and his wife when you guys are the perfect couple to go back and say, well, look, you didn't think about that, Miss K? Uncle Fester was married. Uncle Fester had a child when you met him. You didn't think about the children? Instead of him to ask her that, he switched it to the softball. He switched it to the first. They always get softball. That's what they do. Well, the first thing I would say is you do not know what you do until it's happened to you. They've been together almost what, 10 years? Married 7. Right. It's easier to say, oh, I will walk away, or I'm done, I'm out, until you place in that situation. Now you have to make some real clear, hard decisions. Because love just do not go away just because someone cheats. Well, thank you for saying that. So y'all know Tisha and Destiny were just at each other's throat. But I want to ask Tisha this. When will we see the educated part of you? The intellectual part of you? You know, the one with all these degrees. That's what we're waiting on to see. That's when we know that growth has taken place. And I think that's what your husband is saying too. You know, your husband is telling you to quit acting so wretched, so ghetto, so hood. You guys are trying to rebuild your brand up, your name up. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all something. My soul messed up $1 million deal. at that hotel. How that he had it now. When he talks about that he had a motel, he did. I'm not talking about in the past, I'm talking about since he been on this show. I mean, I drove up there and I saw the scope sign. I was so happy. I said, it's real, it's real, it's real. 2 to 3 months later, they had kicked them off the site, y'all. They had removed everything and kicked them out the site. So that's why they were saying they were millionaires when they came on the show, because that's what I'll show y'all the receipts. How did Marceau mess up $1 million deal? He had it in his hands. Also, for scopes. Also, you guys, I'm driving around Huntsville just about every day. I don't know where all of these businesses at in Huntsville, y'all. I don't know. They got this great storyline, what they're building. They got all these businesses going on. Where are they? And that part where Tisha came in there and she so that house, I believe that was a motel house, that's what it looked like. That listing that she had closed on, Tisha was hating on Destiny, because we realized that Destiny come back on the show and she's showing herself in the real estate department. We never seen Tisha all these seasons. Tisha has never shown us a house. Neither one of them, Marceau, Tisha, none of them. But they in real estate. And then how you be in real estate and just now owning your own home? Anyway, let me take it back, y'all. I gotta take this shit back. There's some stuff right.
In these African freighter shops, you might just be supporting slavery. Yeah, you're.
Okay, I got this from Felisa Cabrera, you guys. I'm gonna put a little up there. It's about boycotting. She said, was boycotting African braid shops the right decision? Allegation of labor exploitation and more. Human trafficking. That's what we're talking about right here in America, in those African braiding shops. You guys, let's take a look at this.
Check this out.
You are looking at girls who were held as slaves in America, not for a week or a month, but for years. And he talks about what it was like having someone else control all of your movements, everything you did.
It was like being trapped, being in a cage.
That's just a little young girl, you guys. Now, when they get, God knows what else was happening to these young girls. They're talking about being held as slaves also. But they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Bring these young children over here and then make slaves out of them. You have to remember that Africans sold us into slaves, so they have no problem with slavery, right? One of their own people. That's how a lot of blacks that were over the Caribbean, Haiti, America, because Africans sold their own people into slavery.
I don't know. Like sometimes it's not enough food for us to eat. No freedom at all.
Nicole and Zena and another 20 girls like them were brought to the U.S. from their homes in the West African nations of Ghana and Togo nearly a decade ago. Barely teens, promised an American education. They were instead enslaved in Newark, New Jersey. The girls were forced to work in hair braiding salons, serving customers all day, right out in the open. Their captors took all the money the girls earned, every penny.
How many days a week were you working? 7 days a week. How many hours a day? Sometimes 14 hours.
This went on for 5 to 6 years. Traffickers held the girls in several houses in Newark and East Orange. The traffickers no longer live there.
This is the neighborhood where these girls were being held, and just look at it. Manicured lawns, nice houses. It looks like any neighborhood in America, and it definitely doesn't look like a place where you'd expect to find slavery.
Who would commit such a crime? These are the traffickers. Akawavi Akalavi, the wife, was the ringleader. Lasisi, the husband, and Derek, the son, were accomplices, according to court documents and law enforcement. Why did they do it? Money. Pure and simple. They made about $4 million off the girls.
These African braiding shops is the new slave castles. You heard them right there in New Jersey. And the Africans had these African girls braiding hair for 14 hours plus 7 days a week, stacking their money for years, millions of dollars. And they was doing this to their very own people, promising them dreams, all along taking their identification away from them where they couldn't even escape. Just mass exploitation of their own people right here on the U.S. soil. So next time you roll up in one of these African braiding shops, you might just be supporting slavery.
Victims of something hard to believe, something you might never expect, something that happened in plain sight. You are looking at girls who were held as slaves.
So these girls were held as slaves, y'all. It says that Africans in Africa are trafficking and selling African women to Africans in America who enslave them by force. Then we just want to say that historically, that various African and Africans made with the European dealers, yeah, they sold them, right? They went out and hunted them down and captured and sold millions of enslaved people to European traders. Now, where's the racism in it? Because there is no European involved in this right now. These are Africans bringing this shit here in America, and I hope they find them and put them in jail, y'all. So let's just talk about this. So let's just say back in the day, they were dealers, right? They were human trafficking, dealing other humans and selling them to the Europeans. Then the European would transfer them across the Atlantic Ocean to America. Much like these little young girls. These little young girls right here, they were young when they came over here. They said that they told them they were going to give them some school, a good education. Instead, what did they do? They enslaved them. It's in their bloodline, y'all. So for centuries, right, we talk about the European role in slavery. But we had the Africans that sold us to them, y'all, and I did not want to believe it when I was younger. I could say, no, they would never do that, y'all. But the facts are here, right? This process was a complex centuries long ago. These Europeans just demanded for labor, for work for themselves on their plantation, you guys, right? Guess what they would? Wouldn't give much. Would they exchange goods, textiles, alcohol, weapons? They didn't get much out of the deal, right? Who were these Africans involved? They were society kingdoms and empires such as the Ashanti, the Dahomey and Oyo tribe. They really, really, really had a hand in dramatically selling other blacks.
In America, not for a week or a month, but for years. Can you tell us about what it was like having someone else control all of your movements, everything you did?
It was like being trapped, being in a cage is horrible. Like sometimes it's not enough food for us to eat, no freedom at all.
Nicole and Zena and another 20 girls like them were brought to the U.S. from their homes in the West African nations of Ghana and Togo nearly a decade ago. Barely teens, promised an American education, They were instead enslaved in Newark, New Jersey.
What did the traffickers take from you?
They took my childhood from me, my teenhood. They took it from me. They took my trust from me, and they took everything. They took everything away from me.
The girls were forced to work in hair braiding salons, serving customers all day, right out in the open. Their captors took all the money the girls earned, every penny.
How many days a week were you working?
7 days a week.
How many hours a day?
Sometimes 14 hours.
This went on for 5 to 6 years. Traffickers held the girls in several houses in Newark and East Orange. The traffickers no longer lived there.
This is the neighborhood where these girls were being held, and just look at it. Manicured lawns, nice houses. It looks like any neighborhood in America, and it definitely doesn't look like a place where you'd expect to find slavery.
Who would commit such a crime? These are the traffickers. Akawabi Afalabi, the wife, was the ringleader. Lasisi, the husband, and Derek, the son, were accomplices, according to court documents and law enforcement. Why did they do it? Money. Pure and simple. They made about $4 million off the girls. Paul Fish.
Check out this on-point animation from Tim Black TV.
There's an African boycott going on right now because of this